Grand Rise, Willie Whittle. It shall be dope. This is the pod. Let's get into it. I'm a hip hop fan. We all know that. If you know me, headphones is always in. Something's going on. But I'm a huge fan of hip hop. 90s hip hop back in the day was my joint. And I'm like just a fan of the rugged, the in the 2000s, right? The DMXs, the Rough Rider era was crazy. I remember two things from like me getting into deep diving into music. One of the most influential purchases I've ever made is what this story's about. So I went in the record arcade, which was a spot that we had back where I grew up at. We went to record arcade. My man he always had a sheet of paper that had all of the upcoming albums and stuff. Like dude was on it. Like he knew it was coming up, and he always supplied to the people. So we look at this list, right? And I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, it ain't really too much coming out in the next like couple of weeks or whatever. But I was on, I had to try something, right? So I remember going in and I tried 400 Degrees by Juvenile. And I tried Noriega, an RE album. And those two albums right there alone changed my perspective on two different genres and two different areas of rap music, right? Because you got the Cash Money era that was crazy. 400 Degrees, you could let that album play, and it was just different. And everybody knows, Take Over for 2000, for the 99 and 2000, and when that come on, girls go crazy. But the rest of that album, 400 Degrees, was crazy. The Noriega album, simple. It was simple. Dude sitting on a bench or whatever, and blue background. He's just kicking it, right? That album is one of my favorite albums to this day. Before that, right, and I get to that because that's not even the album that I want to talk about today. Before that, I was introduced to the Nas's and then the Mobb Deeps, right? So now you got Mobb Deep. So I'm listening to Mobb Deep. I'm like, man, these dudes is nice, right? If I'm not mistaken, shortly after those two albums came out, was an album that touched my soul. Simple. H.P.I.C by Prodigy. I don't know what it is, but the simple concept of being the H.P.I.C, which I won't say what the N is, but keep up, like the head in charge, right? So the song when it comes on, here, let me just just the simplicity of the it sounds like a soundtrack, like it sounds like a movie, right? And you get into the and that right there, like it touched my soul, right? So those are the things that like shape what I feel when I'm doing something. This is the soundtrack of like my life, my childhood, my growth, right? So now in the position that I'm in today, my last podcast, I was talking about making sure that you spark the match for other people. Make sure that you're the inspiration, because what I've learned is in your 20s, you learn. In your 30s, you execute, and in your 40s, you teach, right? So now I'm in my 40s and I'm teaching, but you still got to learn and you still got to execute. It's just more things that's in your bag that get packaged up. So me with that song, with the album, I feel like I'm forced to hold it down like the H.P.I.C, right? So that's something that I came up with because I'm PopzPrime. That's me. Prime because I'm the living embodiment of Optimus Prime, the GOAT, right? And Pops, because I'm the Pops, bro. Like I got people who listen to me all over. My kids need me. So we're here, right? And this PopzPrime's house. So I'm forced to hold it down like the H.P.I.C, the head pops in charge. And that goes for everybody. Anybody that I'm talking to, I gotta be me and I gotta express who I am, because what happens is a lot of times is that those things get lost in translation, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. So I've been sparking matches for my family for quite some time. What I really want them to understand is how to take that flame and go light candles. And I hope that makes sense, because what happens is we'll continue to spark, right? But we want them to catch that flame, want them to understand what you're trying to teach them and then go with it. But in order for me to continue to be the H.P.I.C, I have to be able to push, motivate, intervene when I have to, and make sure that I'm doing corrective action. So there's some things, and this is one of the things that I'm going to eventually write about, right? There's 3 things that I think people need for growth, right? There's accountability. It's number 1. The second, correction. Correction is not wrong. Correction is what it is. It's just truth. You need correction. Third, you need affirmation. After corrections are made, what happens afterwards, right? Hey, you have to affirm that person. That person needs affirmation that my corrections, my changes, my accountability, everything has worked, and I'm on the right path, right? So you have to affirm that, and that's a big part that people miss. So being the H.P.I.C, I live by those 3 dynamics heavily, and plus I implement on my own. Right, so these are the things that when I sit back and I do what I need to do, I'm doing it too. It's not just, hey, I'm doing this for everybody else, right? Because I got to pour into myself first. But man, I tell you what, man, like back in the day when I was listening, and I'm talking about I was the Walkman kid. Like I had the headphones on me all the time. I did not leave the house without my headphones, Walkman, CD player, whatever, fresh batteries. MP3s came out, I was like all over it. You know what I mean? Like it was downloading CDs. We had so many, so many dub CDs, man. It was crazy. But always just like music, just molded me. And I'm a firm believer of, what you put in, you get out. So the music, the TV, the things that you watch, does affect you. But it don't affect me like my mama thought. Like my mama thought it was like, you listen to rap music, you're gonna be a gangster. And I'm like, maybe, maybe, who knows, right? But whatever my life took, I'm able to, I felt like I was fortunate enough to live and interpret some of the things that I felt out of the music that I listened to, right? I interpret the grind and the struggle and the hustle of most people. And I didn't have to do some of the things that, most people felt like they had to do. I didn't have to. If it was a try, okay, cool. But then it was like, man, this ain't for me. Like, I'm not that guy. Definitely not a softie though, but you get what I'm trying to say. So the main point is, like, I am deeming myself the H.P.I.C. I'm the head pops in charge. If you need something from me, if you know me, you know me. Like, it only takes a little bit of time to build and become something greater. And then as long as you make it a habit and be consistent, it's dope, right? So I'm here to help with that transition for most people. I'm here for my own fortification. Like, I implement this on myself. Like, I'm not just the head pops because, like, I'm just deeming it, right? I'm actually doing the work. I had a great year last year. My 2024 was dope. So my 2025, I feel like it's going to be a fantastic year. But one of the things that I really need to to buckle down on my own. It's just making sure I take time for myself, to affirm myself, to make sure I correct myself, because I always hold myself accountable, and I hold myself accountable for so many other actions, sometimes with other people too. So there's just some things. Obviously, we all got some kinks we need to work out, but as long as I got my headphones on me, I'll be all right. I'll be fine. But yeah, man, just one of them things. Like back in the day, those because you see Noriega now on Drink Champs, and unfortunately, Prodigy is gone, rest in peace. But these are the people who helped mold, who I am and in hip hop. And you know how I equate messages to music. So the H.P.I.C, I'm the head pops in charge. That's the moral of the story. So be prepared. Like, if you talk to me, I get preachy sometimes. Like, okay, it is what it is. You're just going to have to hear me preach. But I'll try to calm down on how much I talk to you if I do talk to you. But an important statistic that I did find today was I listened to my man Simon Sinek. I don't know if you know, but he's a fantastic business consultant. He talked on how things interpret from business to life. So he spoke on this morning. The piece that I heard him say was his friend was having a hard week, right? His friend was like, I had a really hard week. And he was like, oh, you had a hard week. Like, why didn't you reach out to me? Like, what, like, reach out. What, you supposed to let me know. Like, we in it together. Like, you supposed to let me know when you're having a hard week. And the person was like, I did. I reached out to you. And he said, all right, well, let me look. He looks at his phone. He starts looking at the text messages because now he's like, I wouldn't have missed that. You know what I mean? So he looks at the messages and he sees the message from this person. He's like, hey, how are you doing? Right? Or, hey, how are things going? Whatever. Like, with a simple text message. Moral of the story. He was like, okay, I see it, but where did you reach out? Because this text message is the same that you text me all the time. This is simple, right? This is not a cry for help. This is a simple text message. So she was like, well, I thought that was me, like, speaking up, whatever. Said, I don't know, you need help. It's different if it's like, okay, here's that, I could get back to you later, versus, hey, I need help. So they came up with a code, right? Their code is their code. But what he learned was, in order for you to make an impact on your friendship, you only need 8 minutes. You need 8 minutes to help de-escalate whatever stress levels is in that person, to help them calm down a little bit. So if you feel stressed out and you do need to lean on somebody, I'm here, first of all. Like, you get at me. My people know they can get at me. My circle know they can get at me. But if you have a love circle, if you have people, if you have friends, develop a code that says, hey, I need 8 minutes. Hey, blueberry pancakes. Whatever your code is, like, seriously, whatever your code is, it means, please give me 8 minutes of your time so I could step out, chop it up with you. Okay, cool. I got you. Like, seriously, you just now have become a sense of urgency on my plate. Like, I'm in a meeting. All right, cool. Meeting's over with in 15. I give you 8 minutes after the 15. Cool. Meeting just started. All right. Well, my part is in 20 minutes. I could give you 8. We have to develop something, and it seems, menial. Like, it's like, dang, 8 minutes ain't bad. Like, I've been talking for 15. You know what I'm saying? 8 minutes ain't bad. So if you can give yourself the vulnerability in your love circle to develop some kind of code that says, hey, 8 minutes. Hey, computer blue. Hey, Shaq. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, right? Then that way you can help mitigate some of your stress, some of your friends' stress, especially if you're having one of those weeks or one of those days. Like, we all need that. So we got to build that lifeline. That's definitely a Pops tip. I mean, that's a tip that I take. But I do tell, if I need something, I remember reaching out to my girl Olive, and you've heard of Olive. She's been on the podcast. Olivia Radcliffe, Marketing Like a Mother. Get at her. But I do the same thing. I was like, hey, need a minute, right? And it's serious. Like, she knows, and she makes time, and she said, hey, what's up? Like, right? So we have that. You need that in your people. You need that in your circle. So, moral of the story, right? Uh, get with your people. Get some accountability for being able to mitigate some of the stresses between you guys, or other people's lives, because we all need that. We all need that support. That support that I'm gonna give is coming from me being the H.P.I.C. I'm the head pops in charge. I'm here. I'm here now. 2025 is gonna be a great year. I'm excited. I think this may be my last recording for the year. Who knows? You know, I might get in another one, but H.P.I.C, baby. Like, I'm here. My journey is in motion. I'm on my mission to peace. I'm on my mission to peace. I want everybody to be on their mission to peace. As long as you follow your mission with love, it shall be dope. Have a good one, everybody.